What's up, guys? Full Guard MMA back with another video. UFC 306. Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. My guy Merab made it look easy out there, man. Sean did not look like he had any business being in there with him. Today, we're going to be going through our reactions, starting from the early prelim opener. Start again. The first fight of the night, we have Raul, El Nino Problemo, Rosas Jr. versus Aurichileng, the Mongolian murderer. Ali, what are your reactions, man?
Going into this fight, Raul Rosas closed as a big favorite, almost minus 1,000 on this fight. He looked good in the first round. He was able to get the takedown, secure the back take, threaten the submissions. And then in come round two, Raul Rosas had a point to prove, man. Mexican style started banging with Aurichileng. Chileng did have more success. He landed the cleaner strikes in the second round, but Raul showed an improved striking game and willingness to trade and bang with a veteran striker. It takes a lot of heart. It's a bold move by a young fighter. And then in third round, the young fighter, 19 years old, shows the high IQ that he has and goes for the immediate takedown, rides out the round, controls Aurichileng, secures the 29-28 decision. It was a good fight. We don't need to rush Raul. Keep slow rolling him. He doesn't need to fight any ranked fighters yet, but it's very promising to see where he's at already in his young career.
Yeah, man, the grappling is definitely very promising. Kid is just a natural out there. Um, he did look a little sloppy on the feet, throwing those back spinning fists. His stand-up didn't look too crisp, but apparently and allegedly he said he was injured. I think he had like a broken toe or like a broken wrist or something. So given that, I feel like he put on a very good performance. Kid is just a natural out there, man. 19 years old and he's ragdolling these dudes. Richie Lang did look like a solid stand-up fighter. His counter-striking game was on point. And he almost caught Raul a couple times, but just wasn't enough. That third round, it was going into that third round, it was 1-1, very even fight. Could have went either way. But Raul, he showed his level there and it was very impressive. Unanimous decision for Raul. Moving on. The next fight, we had Joshua Van versus Edgar Chz. My guy Edgar Chz looking like the flyweight Poatan, man. What you think about this fight? What you think about my guy Joshua Van?
Joshua Van is an absolute savage. He walked down the bigger fighter. He looked much heavier than Van. He was much taller than Van. He looked literally like a flyweight Poatan. He was throwing that left hook. He was throwing the leg kicks. He was jabbing up Joshua Van. It didn't affect Joshua Van's game plan at all. It didn't deter him from following the game plan. He kept walking forward, landed to the body, landed to the head, knees to the body, punches to the body, knees to the head, punches to the head. He just kept walking forward. It didn't matter. He was absolutely Marauder style on this dude, Chz. It didn't matter what Chz hit him with. Chz was piecing him up in the first round. Come round two, Van, same game plan, walking him down. He rocks Chz with a body shot, swarms him, looks for the finish. He's hitting him with punches and bunches all over against the cage. Chz grabs the cage so he doesn't fall and then throws a spinning back fist, nearly puts Van out. Van goes for the panic takedown. Crazy fight. Joshua Van showed a lot of heart and he showed that he's very durable. He just got knocked out 2 months ago, taking this fight on short notice. He looked very durable. Despite what pundits were thinking, despite what others were thinking, they were saying Van's taking this fight too quick. He's going to get finished. He showed a lot of grit, showed a lot of heart. And he showed a lot of technique with the hands and the knees. A lot of good combinations.
Bro, people talking about Raul being young. Joshua Van is 22 years old, man. Kid has a promising career. I'm not gonna lie. When he came in against Chz, dude looked like the smaller fighter. I felt bad actually picking him to win, but Kid put it on, man. Kid put it on. Once he ate that punch to the face and he realized he could stand with this dude, it was pretty much over after that. They had a wild round two. That was probably the round of the night. That was one of the most impressive rounds I've ever seen. And then third round, he just kind of dominated him, slammed him. Very impressive performance. Another unanimous decision win for Joshua Van. Moving on, we have Caitlyn Sza versus Yasmine Hu. What were your thoughts, man? This was a quick finish.
Yeah, Yasmine closes the minus 600 favorite. A lot of people had faith in Yasmine, and she looked good in the striking, but then she struck Caitlyn Sza in the groin area. The ref stepped in. They had a little break. And then they went back to it. And Yasmine Ragwe went back to putting that pressure on her, putting jabs in her face, throwing kicks out there. But then Sza landed a groin strike back on Yasmine. And the ref had to get involved. She took a break. It seemed like quite a significant blow. Yasmine seemed very affected by the groin strike. As soon as the referee resumed the fighting, Caitlyn gets in the pocket. She lands a left hook literally 30 seconds after the fight resumes, drops Yasmine, and immediately rushes the submission, gets the rear naked choke, and puts Yasmine to sleep. She was not moving 10 seconds after the submission. Caitlyn Sza showing absolutely natural killer instinct in this fight. She was a big underdog, and she pulled it off in dominant fashion. I'm excited to see what's next for Caitlyn Sza.
Man, that was low-key beautiful the way she finished that fight. The way she finished that fight. Interesting nut shots though in this one.
Yeah.
Interesting nut shots in this one. But Caitlyn Sza did lock herself the performance of the night. So shout out to her. Moving on to one of my favorite fights of the night. Ignacio Bahamondes versus Manuel Torres. Man, what do you think about this fight, bro?
The fight started early with Torres with the forward pressure, landing the better strikes with the really high pace. Nacho was shelling up. He was waiting for the counters, and Torres was just walking forward, throwing whatever he could, hooks, jabs, straight punches, and Nacho shelled up and found that step back right hand, stunned him, dropped him, went in for the finish. Mark Goddard didn't feel like it was enough to call the fight. Torres eventually gets back up to the feet. He starts throwing lunging hooks the second he gets back up to his feet. That's a very low IQ move. He's already rocked. He's throwing lunging hooks with his chin up as soon as he gets back up to his feet. Nacho does the same thing. He just shells up and looks for the step back right hand again, and this time he drops him and finishes him. Absolutely breathtaking striking clinic from Nacho Bahamondes. He's been working with the welterweight champion Belal Muhammad, and it shows. And it absolutely shows. He closes the underdog in this matchup, and he was shining tonight. 2 knockdowns, gets the knockout finish. Shout out to Nacho Bahamondes. Out.
Moving on, we got the beautiful Norma Dumont versus Irene Aldana. What were your thoughts about this one, man?
This was the first fight of the night that me and you switched on our picks. We had the same picks up till this fight. I went Norma, you went Irene. Norma made me look like an oracle that night. You know what I'm saying? She was throwing a lot of volume, a lot of boxing combinations on Irene. Irene, like she showed in the Nunes fight, like she showed in the home fight, she's tough as nails. Can't really drop her, can't really put her out. But Norma didn't care. She didn't need to drop her. She didn't need to hurt her. She was just landing more. And she won every round. She landed more volume in each round. Her boxing looked much improved. She couldn't really get any takedowns, but nobody's been able to have really a lot of takedown success on Aldana like that. Norma looked really good. That's 5 fights in a row. She might be fighter for the title next.
Not only is she good at fighting, she's also good looking. Shout out to her. Irene, she probably lost a step. She's usually more crisp on the stand up, but I guess it was not her night, and she got beaten badly. I feel bad for her. Hopefully she's doing well. But moving on to the main card, we got Ronaldo Lazy Boy Rodriguez versus Ode Osborne. And to be fair, man, this guy Ode Osborne, that first round, he was looking super solid. I was shocked.
Yeah. Ode Osborne looked super crisp to start the first round. He landed a lot of body kicks on Lazy Boy. And then once Lazy Boy rushed in, he threw a lazy kick on Ode, rushed into the pocket with a lazy kick. And what do I say? When you throw a lazy kick in the pocket, you better expect to get dropped, because it's very easy to get dropped when you're throwing back lazy kicks in the pocket. Ode Osborne drops him with the left hook, nearly finishes him, goes for the triangle submission. Lazy Boy showed that he's a not type to that, did not tap at all to the submission, got out of the submission, started to try to throw ground and pound. We get to round 2. Lazy Boy gets the takedown, gets control time, wins the second round. We get to round 3. Both guys are trying to stand. Ode Osborne is clearly trying to stand, and Ronaldo Rodriguez is trying to get the takedown. Not much ground control for Lazy Boy, but it was enough to get the job done. It was a close fight. I don't think it was 29-27, but Ode Osborne was gassed out in the second round. He was taking a lot of damage, so I don't know. What do you think about that, Ian?
After that first round, Ode Osborne did look like he started to slow down. He wasn't the same after that, which gave Ronaldo a lot of opportunity to catch up, get him, and hence why he lost the fight in the last 2 rounds, because that first round I thought went to him. So 27-29. I'm not shocked at that fight score. Moving on to the fight of the night, we have Daniel Zellhuber versus Esteban Ribovics. Now this fight, me and you also had a split decision, because this was a very close fight, and boy was it a banger. What were your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, man. Immediately it starts off. Zellhuber was throwing the straight punches, the straight body kicks, the teeps to the body, throwing the leg kicks, throwing up kicks up top. Zellhuber looked cleaner, landed the cleaner strikes in the first round. I gave that first round to Zellhuber. The action picks up in the second round. Esteban comes out knowing he lost that first round, starts throwing crazy blitzing combinations. Zellhuber's answering back with strikes. The round could have gone either way, but I would lean slightly more towards Ribovic in round 2. Then comes round 3, round of the year so far, man.
Fact.
Esteban Ribovic is coming in with the blitzing combos. Zellhuber times the step in elbow, drops Ribovic. Ribovic survives, gets up, then then stuns Zellhuber with a big right hand, stuns him. He's nearly out on his feet. He's just on autopilot, moving his head on complete autopilot. Somehow, Ribovic wasn't able to land the finishing blow. Zellhuber is able to survive. The rest of the round was very close. I felt like this fight could have went either way. I'm not mad at anyone getting this decision. It may well be fight of the year. Absolutely banger, war of a fight. Shout out to Esteban Ribovic, man. He knocked out Terrence McKinney, war with Daniel Zellhuber. I can't wait to see what's next for him in this Shark Tank lightweight division.
Definitely, man. I see him getting a slot in the top 15, man, because that's a Shark Tank in that division. Bunch of killers, man, bunch of killers. But moving on, we have Diego Lopez versus Brian T City Ortega. Now, what were your thoughts on Brian Ortega, man? How he looked to you?
Leading up to the fight, he did not look in good shape for this matchup. It didn't look like he clearly, like I said in the breakdown video, Ortega's been wanting to move up to 55. They're forcing him to stay there to give the number 3 ranking to the new guy, Lopez. Some dirty politics going on. I called it completely. Ortega was going to get smashed. The guy clearly can't make 45 comfortably anymore. It was a depleted Ortega. Every time Lopez landed anything, he was getting hurt. He's clearly cutting too much weight because we all know Ortega has an iron chin. But Ortega's a warrior, man. Even though he was getting beat up, he stayed up. He kept trying to fight. He couldn't really put together enough success to win rounds. But he tried to stay in the fight as best as he could. Shout out to Diego Lopez. He looked very good. His hands looked very powerful. His grappling did not look as advertised. Everyone's talking about, oh, he's the next big thing, the next big black belt in BJJ and MMA. Brian Ortega, as we all know, his BJJ and MMA is elite. Lopez wasn't really able to do too much of anything against Ortega. The striking looked okay. He's not a world-class striker, and we've seen he's not an elite BJJ guy because he wasn't able to have pretty much any success on the ground against Ortega, even when he hurt him. Diego Lopez, he's a good prospect. I don't think he's championship material, but he's definitely top 5, top 7-ish material, top around there. What are your thoughts?
Well, he's definitely top 5 now. And you know he's going to get either a title eliminator or a number 1 contender fight next for sure. Big things are in his future, man. He's about to get paid. And I'm happy for him, man. Dude is a solid stand-up guy. He trains kids in BJJ. Dude put on a crazy performance, then goes back, gets ready, comes back to coach the next fight. He's a stand-up guy, and good things are coming for him. I'm happy for him. Do I see him being a champion in that 145 division? Very hard to say. Ilia Topuria is very nice. I don't think he has what it takes, but you never know, man. He catches him in the right submission at the right time. Anything can happen, man. MMA is the best sport in the world. Moving on to the co-main, the women's flyweight championship. We have my boo, Valentina Zebulit Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso. Man, I regret not going with Valentina, man. Listen, guys. If you love a fighter, always go with them. Take this lesson from me. What were your thoughts on this fight, Ali?
I felt like the bullet came in with the right game plan, and she executed it perfectly. She stayed on point. She stayed disciplined. She didn't alter from the game plan initially. She stayed on track the whole fight, and it led her to win every round. Every round started with Valentina. She kept jabbing, throwing some kicks. She was staying safe in the striking exchanges. She clearly didn't want to get hit by anything big by Grasso. She stayed safe in the striking. Minute 30, she found the opening. She'll always go for the takedown, and she was able to secure it at will in this fight. Every round after round, she'll set up every takedown. She was able to get them at an extremely high percentage due to the striking that she was setting up those takedowns with. And on the ground, Grasso had no answer. Valentina wasn't able to submit Grasso, but she was able to control her. She kept her in full guard. She tried to beat her up a little bit. It was a very boring fight. I'm gonna be honest with you, but Valentina did what she had to do to get that belt back. She's an older fighter in the women's game right now. She did what she had to do, man.
Man, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for Valentina, man. Last fight, I thought she lost that fight, but it was a draw. And turns out after watching that second fight, just watching the clips of it, she actually put on a very good performance. I completely forgot about that. I guess it seems like once Alexa kept her belt after that second fight, it felt like a L for Valentina, but it wasn't, and a lot of people did think it was. She came out ready, game plan solid, and another feather in the cap for the GOAT. Now moving on to the main event. Merab the Machine Dvalishvili versus Sean O'Malley. Now, we knew what Merab was going to do. It wasn't a surprise there. What was a surprise was Sean O'Malley coming out flat. I thought he had this fight in the bag. But Merab is just a machine, man. There's no joke. That nickname fits like a glove. What you think, man? What are your thoughts on this fight?
My thoughts was I called this fight to a T. I picked Merab to win this fight. I said the only way Sean was going to win this fight was by knockout in the first round. And if he didn't get that, Merab was going to be all over this kid like glue. And that's exactly what happened. He was all over this kid. He would stay on the outside, stay safe. And once he was able to get on the inside without Sean O'Malley to be able to retaliate with anything big in the pocket, he would go in, get the takedown, beat him up on the ground, and control him the rest of the round. He had 6 takedowns. He basically had 1 takedown every round that led to enough control to secure the round every round. And then I think in the 4th or 5th round, he had 2 takedowns. But pretty much he would just get 1 takedown, and that 1 takedown was always enough for him to win the round. He would stay on the outside, stay safe. Sean O'Malley, after that initial takedown in the first round, Sean O'Malley became a different fighter, man. He became a completely different fighter. He started throwing 5 punches, 6 punches per round. He didn't want to get taken down. He ended up just staring at Merab. He was looking for that knockout blow, and Merab never slipped up and gave him that opportunity to land a knockout blow. And that's exactly what I said was going to happen. If Sean O'Malley can't find that knockout blow, Merab's winning that fight by decision all day. Merab masterclass. I can't wait for the white papacha versus the black papacha. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Merab Dvalishvili. I know the mainstream fans, they're going to be like, it's a boring fight. But to the hardcores, that's the real fight. That's the real, true best 135er in the world. And I can't wait for that fight.
100% with Umar. I agree with that 100%. But we'll save that for another video, man. Merab, shout out to him, man. Dude is just relentless, man. He works hard. He left his family in Georgia, sacrificed everything to be here. You know, he trained out in Long Island, New York. You know, Aljamain Sterling, shout out to him. But I think this is pretty clear. I think now we see who was the clear better fighter in that gym. I think Merab just was levels above him, and he's just a nice dude. He didn't want to show out to his friend. He didn't want to he didn't want to embarrass Aljo by beating him in front of the world. So I think he deserves this, man. He deserves this. Whether or not Sean was ready, I think Merab was gonna win either way. He was just a man on a mission, and good for him, man. Hopefully he holds that title tight, because Umar is coming, man. You know the UFC is not gonna give him any favors. You know the UFC after the way he refused to fight Aljo. You know the UFC is not looking for his best interest in mind. I think him versus Umar in Abu Dhabi is probably next up.
For sure. And that's Full Guard MMA. And we're out of here, guys.
Peace.